get creative, you need to solve people's problems, and you need to make offers that are win-wins. That's what this is all about. What's going on, real estate investors? My name's Hayden Crabtree. I'm the author of this book, Skip to Flip, Secrets the 1% Know About Real Estate Investing. And today we're gonna be talking about how to get any offer you make accepted, no matter how crazy of a price the seller is asking for. So this is a little bit of some mental jujitsu. It's gonna be more about soft skills than it is about tactical in the weeds. So with that being said, let's dive in. Let's say that you wanna go out, you wanna buy a house. Let's say that you do underwriting. Let's say that you go through, you use the My Property Stats pro forma, you use the goal seek features in there to figure out, hey, on this house, I can pay $330,000, okay? $330,000 is the price with the financing you could get, with the bank loan you could get on investment property. That is the price that would help you hit, let's say, your cash flow goals of 12% in year one, okay? Let's say your goal was 12% in year one, $330,000 was the price you can do that. And by the way, if you're like, wait a second, how do I even know that? I'll put a video in the top right corner of this right now that'll teach you how to underwrite properties to make sure that you are going through the process correctly and making sure you find that $330,000 purchase price correctly, okay? So let's say you go through that process, you say, okay, I know how to underwrite deals, $330,000 is my price, and we go to the seller and they say, I'd like to get $500,000 for this price. So the question at hand is, how do we bridge the gap, right? They want $500,000, we want to pay $330,000. How do we bridge that gap? Do we bring them down? Do we bring ourselves up? What I want to teach you is the 3-part offer system that I make, and I teach all the students in my mentorship course of how to make these offers to bridge this gap to get any seller to accept your offer. So the first part is that there are 3 offers. I never make one offer. I always make 3 offers. And really the first offer is an all-cash deal. That'd be the $330,000 that you want to make. I would make that offer. Next up is I'm going to do some tricks, okay? What I mean by tricks is whenever you're making an offer, there are really 2 components. Most people don't understand this. You're going to understand this. The first component is price. The $330,000, that's the offer price you want to make. That is only one component of the deal. The other component of the deal is terms, okay? Now, most people think about terms and they say, okay, what are the terms of the deal? And they say, okay, 15 days of due diligence, 15 days to close after that, earnest money deposit of 1%. They think about terms in that, but that's not how I think about terms. I think about those sets of terms, which are fine, but I also think about it with terms combined in other areas. Let's say that the seller wanted the $500,000, right? Well, what you would do is you would go to them in offer number 2 and you would tell them, I will give you $500,000. Now, how do you give them the $500,000? Well, that's up to you to have a little bit of creativity, but here's how I would do it. I would make offer number 1, all cash price, $330,000. I would anchor them in that price, like, wow, $330,000. That's way lower than what I wanted. Offer number 2, $500,000. Here's how I'm gonna give it to you, okay? I'm gonna give you, let's say, 5% down. So of the $500,000, you're gonna get $25,000 today. The other $475,000, I'm gonna pay you. So why don't we do quick math and we'll say whatever it is over 30 years or 360 months. So I'll give you the $475,000, just doing this on my phone, divided by 360 months, comes out to $13.19 a month, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you $25,000 down, 5% down. I'm gonna pay you the other 95% over 360 months, 30 years, and I'm gonna pay you $13.19 a month, and that's gonna total up to $500,000. So that's it. I gave you your $500,000. I'm gonna give you exactly what you asked for. And that's the key, right? Whenever we're trying to get any of our offers accepted, we want to give the person what they're asking for. We just want to give them what they're asking for in a way that helps us hit our financial goals. Because if we think about this, let me do a quick little thing on my calculator here. And I'm gonna just figure out if I were to get a $300,000 mortgage at, let's say, 5% interest rate over 30 years, what the payment would be. The payment on that would be $1,610. So if I buy the house at $330,000, and let's say I put $30,000, 10% down, and I borrowed $300,000 at a market interest rate of 5%, my payment on that would be $1,610. So by giving them $500,000, I've actually reduced my monthly payment down by $300 a month. Extra cash flow that goes in my pocket. Now, I need to make sure that my goal on this property isn't to flip it, because if I think it's worth $330,000, let's say I buy it for $330,000 and I think it's worth $350, then I go sell it and I've got a mortgage at $300, I'm going to net out $50,000 off my $30,000 investment. But if I buy it for $500,000 and I take out $475,000 of seller financing mortgage, let's say I turn around and flip that property for $350, now I'm underwater, right? Now I have more debt than I do value of the property, so I'm underwater in that. So you need to make sure if you're gonna do that terms play, you make sure I'm gonna hold this property long enough to where I'm gonna get some equity in this. And the reason this works out is because we're not paying any interest rate. Whenever we go and we borrow the money from the bank, $300,000, our payment is more, but also in every single payment, what's happening is we're paying a large chunk of interest. Just in your first payment here of $1,610, you pay $360 of principal and $1,250 of interest, right? Well, guess what? In the seller financing, we're not paying any interest. We gave them the $500,000. We're essentially taking a $475,000 loan at a 0% interest rate. Now you're thinking to yourself, Hayden, that's crazy. Nobody would ever do that. Yes, people do that all the time. It's called getting a deal done, right? And I don't mean to say that as like, hey, try to scam these people out. They're asking for $500,000 on a $300,000, $330,000 property. And so you're just trading off things, right? You're taking on more debt. You're making the sacrifice of I'm gonna have to hold this property longer, right? Than, going through paying market rate and paying $300,000 of interest over the life of the loan. And so what I'm saying here is that whenever you go through to get any offer accepted, you need to have options in your offer. And one of those options need to be giving the seller exactly what they want. That's how you get offers accepted, by giving people what they want and solving people's problems. And so there's a lot of different things you can do. This example I gave you of a $475,000 mortgage, paying $1,000 or $1,300 a month, that's just one example. There's a ton of different options you can do. One option would be, hey, I'm not actually gonna buy this property from you. I'm gonna do a lease purchase on this property. And I've done this before where, hey, you want, if you've seen the video, which I'll put the video in the top right now, if you've seen the video where I bought a $3 million property with none of my own money, what happened there is one of my offers was, hey, by the way, you're asking $3 million for this property. I think it's only worth 2.2. I'll do a lease option from you or a lease purchase from you where I put no money down. I pay you interest only on the $3 million at $10,000 a month, and I'm gonna cash flow off that. That's just one example, using a lease option, a lease purchase. There's also infinite numbers of owner finances you could do. There's partnerships, there's JVs, there's so many different ways. There's delayed sales, there's installment sales. One of the guys in my mentorship group just told me about a 12-unit mobile home park that he bought. The deal for him was he's buying the mobile home park for $150,000. He's giving the owner $50,000 at closing. He's giving them $50,000 next year, a one-time payment, and he's giving them $50,000 a year after that. That's called an installment sale, right? There's a ton of different options, and that's what the owner wanted. He gave the owner what he wanted. Now, if he had said, hey, I want $150,000, I want it all up front, the guy in my mentorship program, he would not have wanted to do that. It would not have been a good deal. But it's a good deal for him because he's going to put out $50,000, and the deal is going to cash flow for him this year. I think it was $35,000, $37,000. So really his out of pocket over the course of this year, it only cost him $12,000 to get into that deal. The year after this, the $50,000 that he's got to pay the owner, the project is going to cash flow that. The year after that, it's going to cash flow that again. And then the year after that, he's paid off the owner in full, and he's going to make $50K plus every single year in perpetuity. And that's how you get deals done, right? Whenever you go out there and you look in the market and you say, man, I can't win any deals, right? I'm getting outbid on these properties. I can't pay enough. Interest rates are going up, causing my price to go up. You need to get creative. You need to solve people's problems, and you need to make offers that are win-wins. That's what this is all about. So I hope you guys found this valuable. Again, if you want to watch any of those videos, linking to, and I'll post this video right here at the end of this screen, which is how to go through the process of analyzing a deal, and I'll give you an introduction into My Property Stats, a tool that'll help you do that. And even inside of My Property Stats, you can analyze the $50,000 installment sales. You can analyze lease purchases. You can analyze owner financing, 0% interest rates. So it's all possible. You just have to put in the work, build the skills, and learn how to do it. Be great.